Assemble the center stand attachment to park the vehicle in a level surface. Turn the kill switch to off position and switch off the ignition key. Loosen the fork cap nut on the vehicle using the fork bolt turning jig while the fork is fitted on the vehicle. Use 6 mm Allen key to loosen M8 into 30 top yoke and bottom yoke fork pinch screws in the left-hand side fork. Refer fork removal video for details. Remove the fork carefully from the vehicle. Hold the fork in upright position and use the fork bolt turning jig to remove fork cap nut. Use 17 mm and 14 mm open-end spanner to lock the fork cap nut and remove the fork cap nut. Pump and drain out the fork oil from the fork tube completely. Hold fork tube down to remove all the excess oil. Use flathead screwdriver to remove dust seal. Remove the internal circlip using the circlip plier. Push up and down to remove the fork outer tube to release press fit of guide bush. Remove the slide bush. Remove the guide bush. Remove the seal spacer. Remove the oil seal, circlip and dust seal from the fork body. Assemble the fork into the SPG jack and rod case guiding jig on the fork tube. Use 17 mm open-end spanner and 24 mm socket to compress the fork tube with the SPG jack. Remove the snap ring with help of snap ring plier. Remove the SPG jack and rod case pushing guide jig. Insert the sealed hammer and adapter and lock the piston rod using 14 mm open-end spanner. Using seal hammer, remove the piston assembly from the fork body as shown. Remove the special tool and remove the spring from fork body. Remove the adapter from the piston using 14 mm open-end spanner. Right-hand fork assembling procedure. Assemble the dust seal to the inner tube. Insert the circlip, oil seal and seal spacer to the fork body. Note: insert the oil seal engraved side to axle holder side. Insert the guide bush and slide bush to the fork body. Note: apply Teflon grease as a thin layer before inserting the outer tube. Insert the outer fork tube to the fork body. Hold the fork body upside down. Push the oil seal into the fork tube and press fit the oil seal using the seal hammer. Use the circlip plier to assemble the internal circlip. Press fit the dust seal into fork body using seal hammer. Insert the spring inside into the fork body. Pour recommended quantity of fork oil to the fork tube. Recommended quantity 546 plus or minus 2.5 milliliters. Move outer tube up and down to flow oil to fitment gap, more than 5 times. Place the piston assembly and compress it into the fork body. Make sure to replace the O-ring during assembly. Use rod guide case pushing jig and assemble the fork tube into the SPG jack. Use 17 mm open-end spanner and 24 mm socket to compress fork tube with the SPG jack. Assemble the snap ring using the snap ring plier. Remove the fork tube from the special tool. Move outer tube quickly up and down to release air, more than 10 times. Assemble the fork nut and fork cap nut and hand tighten it. Use 17 mm and 14 mm open-end spanner to lock the fork cap nut and tighten the fork nut. Apply torque of 20 Nm. Lock the slide pipe to the fork cap nut and use the fork bolt turning jig to tighten the fork cap nut. Assemble the right-hand fork to the vehicle and tighten the M8 into 30 top and bottom yoke fork pinch screws using 6 mm Allen key and apply 25 Nm torque. Refer to the fork refitment video for more details. Apply torque of 35 Nm using fork bolt turning jig in the fork once fitted on the bike.